Hey everyone, welcome to Sew Girlful. I'm Connie Koch and I'm so excited to bring you the techniques that I have found useful for when we do the final touches of our 18-inch doll shoes, and that being soles. They can be kind of frustrating at times, but once you get the hang of it and find your own wings, I know you will be making a lot of doll shoes in your near future. So today I'll be focusing on things that I personally like to use. You may find things differently. You may find other pattern designers differently. You may choose to work on your own patterns. I personally love all the amazing designers that take their creative time and genius to put out patterns for me, so I totally support them. And I will just put my own touches on their amazing patterns. And I will highlight some of my favorites. That doesn't mean I don't like any others. I just tend to find that I have my go-to designers because I know they're going to be spot on, perfect fit, and I won't get so frustrated. So let's get started with the vinyls. Now I stick with more of the upholstery, wonderful faux leathery looking vinyls, and they're all a little bit more pliable. There are marine vinyls out there. I tend not to use those. They're just a little more stiffer and thicker, but if you can get a hold of some wonderful luscious designer vinyls, then go for it. And they have a softer back too than the marine vinyl. But remember, all vinyls, every vinyl I share with you will have a grain line. Okay, here's white, hot pink, and black. That's a little textury. Then this one is a little thinner. This vinyl is. It's a lot thinner than the other. It's more pliable, but this still will work with wonderful boots as I have used them. It has just a little bit more of a softer felt to your back. And if you notice, I want to stretch this. That's the cross grain, you guys. If you know anything about textiles, vinyls do have a straight grain and a cross grain and a bias. So beware of that as you're laying out your pattern pieces to cut your vinyls. Now the other thing that I found, which was kind of fun, most of the time that's all you get for your local things is just the solids and the textures, but I found a place on Etsy, and it will be in the description where you can find where I got these little vinyls. But these are like their little sample pack, and so these are small little sheets. They don't come in yardage, they just come in sheets, and I got several of them. Some of them you'll see I already put into shoes, but if you notice, the back of this is more of a canvas, so it's still a really good structured vinyl. And again, they still have not as much, but somewhat of a cross grain and a straight grain, so beware of that. What else came in the pack, which I was delightful of, is she has a bunch online, is all these fun little chunky glitter, smooth glitter vinyls. Now the back of it is just a little bit different, but it's the same. And when I just realized that what I purchased at my local Hobby Lobby was the same as what she was carrying, and I was just using these for like the trim on my shoes. But now guess what, you could use these totally for basic shoes or boots with not a whole lot of stitching on the top. No sew boots, no sew shoes would be fabulous with this type of stuff. Minimal sewing is good. Okay, so I kind of gave you a little tip on vinyls. There's lots out there. Just be searching, and you know what? Try it. If you don't like it and you mess up, then you do. You just do it again. Okay, so for the soles and for like the trims. Now, some of the shoes and boots, you will see they recommend cork. Cork, go for it. It's not that hard to use. This is craft cork. This is the cork you would get like if you were making a cork board. Okay, this is not cork fabric. It's not any type of textile cork. However, this stuff will crumble and break. So you definitely need to seal it, and I use a matte Mod Podge. You can use a gloss Mod Podge, whatever you want, but I'll tell you, that is the sealing trick. And don't just put one coat, put a couple coats on. It's well worth it, and the effects are amazing. So with that, they do come in rolls, different thicknesses. Okay, this actually has sticky back to it, and I don't use a sticky back. I seriously will glue it, and I use this for the trim around the shoe I am making or sandal that I'm making, but I still seal this with Mod Podge. Do not forget that step. It will crack and crumble on you if you do not. So here's some of the other foams. Okay, so here's just, they come in tons of colors, you guys. You get this in the kitty craft section. So 2mm foam is what a lot of times they'll ask for inner soles, or for a layer at the bottom sole as well, depending on what shoe or boot or whatever you're actually constructing. Now I found, and this is foam, you guys. Oh, I take that back. This one isn't. This one goes, this is the purple. This one goes in with my vinyls because it has that, and it's cool, it's chunky purple. So sorry, that snuck in. But these I found, there's glitter foam. How cool is that, right? So if you notice, some of my shoes, the trim will have this sparkly glitter foam because, you know, I like the bling. So, and these aren't bad. They don't come out with a whole lot of sparkle, but I don't care. It's worth it. I'll have sparkles all over my face. Now, the 6mm foam, and it comes in black, brown, white. I use this for the bottom sole 9 times out of 10, unless I'm using cork. So this is great to have on hand, lots of it. It's easy to cut with your scissors, and so I haven't found any 6mm other colors, but I don't care. Half the time your shoes are just a basic white, brown, or black anyway, the sole part. You can have fun with what you do with the trim around your shoe. Now, this is where I differ from some cobblers in the doll world, is I always use chipboard. This is a nice weight. I found some of it is just too much. I will put this in the description on exactly what weight this is, or millimeter or whatever. I get this from scrapbook.com. I cannot find this chipboard locally. What they call chipboard at Hobby Lobby is literally a glorified piece of cardstock, and that to me is not heavy and weighty enough. I want a shoe to feel like a shoe with structure. Okay, I'm back. So hopefully you got a little bit of some knowledge revolving what I use for my soles, as well as the vinyl for the top of the shoe. And I could talk for days on that, but this is focused on how we're going to actually construct and put together your shoes when it comes to the soles. So what do I use for glues? Yeah, that's the age-old question. And I'll be honest with you, it's literally personal preference. And I have tried every suggestion out there. I have worked with everything. I thought I didn't want to even go into the hot glue world because, you know, you lose a lot of your finger, you know, it hurts. But in the ultimate end of it all, I'm using hot glue. But I'll tell you what hot glue stick I actually am using and what I found to work better. So first of all, in your arsenal, you will want some type of double back sticky tape. Okay, so this is like it's scrapbooking stuff, removable Elmer's, and this is just your Scotch double-sided sticky tape. So you'll want some type of double-sided sticky tape, and you will know why we use that. The other glue that I am totally in love with, and you see it is upside down, is your Aleene's, I'll put it upside, Fast Grab tacky glue. You want the fast grab, you want the quick grab, you want something that's super, super thick. So hot glue, okay, hot glue. Yes, don't ask me about my cool, my cool caddy. I had a wonderful dear friend's husband make it for me. But I found that if you can see, that tip is your very, very small fine tip. I purchased the fine tip one because you will have more control, less strings, and less blobs coming out. Because once we start hot gluing, as you will see, you want that control and not a lot of it coming out at once on you. So what do I use for glue sticks? Well, since I work a lot with vinyl and I have been going through a lot of glue sticks trying to figure out, I found the Gorilla Glue. Okay, this Gorilla hot sticks are amazing. And every once in a while you may need the instant vinyl. Okay, it's by Dritz, but something that is gonna, if you, especially with sandals, not so much what we're working on with boots and shoes that encompass the whole thing, but if you're working with vinyls and you need to add a vinyl strap to a vinyl body of it, you want the vinyl glue. It takes a little bit of time to set up, but it's worth it and it's gonna hold. Sadly, the hot glue isn't gonna work. I thought it was gonna work, and then I'm finding some of my sandals still falling apart, so I gotta fix them with my instant vinyl. Okay, that's with glue. Now, what do I use for putting on these soles? And this will be in the link as well. This is a cool, you can see it, with the feet, feet upside down. This is a doll cobbler stand. It's made out of wood and it's fabulous, and it comes unassembled and you can get it. Before that, you use your doll feet. Okay, I use my doll feet. You have to have something to have as a base for putting the inner soles on to the top of your shoes. That is a must. You cannot, I have tried, you will just call it quits. Okay, you have to have something. So if you don't want to invest in the cobbler stand, I just used one of my dolls. Of course, she had to hang upside down, she was in between my legs. It was kind of awkward, but we made it work. And if that's what you need to do for now, then just do it. But you have to, I stress that you have to have something so you're able to get that shoe correctly and the sole correctly balanced. So quickly, let me go through some of the shoes. Like I said, all soles are not created equal, and that's why I do not purchase ready-to-made cut soles, because you don't know what the pattern you have with what designer that and the shapes they do. I just don't take it for granted. And even if it's the same designer, sometimes the sole is just a little bit different. So I seriously cut out each individual sole pattern for that particular shoe that I'm making. Call me crazy, but that's what I do. So here's a good example. Okay, these boots, I love them. They're the Carson boots by Appletotes Co. These are actually an in the hoop project. So in the hoop means you are stitching out the whole entire top of your boot, but that doesn't mean there's assembly required, because there is. Then if you notice that sole, it's different. It's not normal. Okay, so that's why I cut out individual. So what I'm going to show you today is not the boots, and it's not a crazy sole. It's just a kind of a real basic Mary Jane, if you will. But it's the same thing applies. Okay. Then I have some other cute little boots. When I started with boots because I'm a crazy boot person and I wanted boots. So yeah, I started out not with the easiest stuff, I don't think, but here, these are your lace-up boots, and these are by Miche Designs. And if you actually notice and look close, these are my first ones, and they are not completely smooth. They're not bad, but I know when I have do-overs of these, which I just did, they're way better. But if you notice, see, black soles, and I got my little bling on the edges. Then I have, now, okay, the reason why I'm showing you these is because these are made of wool and flannel on the inside. These are like the Boda boots, and I believe these ones are by, oh gosh, I don't want to get it wrong. I think these are by Miche as well. I love them. I think they're fun. But the same applies. This is pretty thick wool, not super thick wool, but once you get the wool and the flannel, and I think I interfaced, I can't remember, it's been a while, but once you do that, it's pretty thick, and you still want the same techniques that I'm going to show you, how to wrap it around your inner soles with anything that is going to be a little thicker, even in the cloth world. Okay. So let's get on to those vinyls that I showed you. So excited. These are signature loafers right here. Signature loafers by Appletotes Co. And this is cute little Girl Scout. And then we have like a green plaid. Okay. So this is actually an in the hoop design. See the little stitching I did right over the vinyl and the plaid? It's so adorable. And then I used the cute little foam. So she did some cool oopsie daisies in the hoop. These are also in the hoop, and this is by Appletotes Co. And I'll tell you, I love them. I just layered a patent vinyl, pink vinyl, over the top of my cool vinyl black. And of course I did some fun pink. And then these, you guys, are just like, it's a paper button that I got from the scrapbooking place ages ago, and I have more of them, and they just added that fun little final touch. And these are very simple, one seam in the back. And then we have, you guys, these are more in the hoop by Appletotes Co. Same style, but these have little ears. These are the little nerdy hamsters, you guys. They're so adorable. I'm sorry, I think they're cute. And then you have the kitty nap flats. That's what she calls them, kitty nap. There are other little animals, but I totally am in love with the kitty naps and the nerdy hamsters. And the cool part about it is the focus. And my model for today is a kitty nap flap done in this pink patent vinyl with the black stitching. And that's what we're going to use for making and attaching the soles. So with that said, let's get to it. The cutest little kitty nap flaps I made in the patent pink vinyl. And I'll be honest with you, this doesn't really have any stretch to it at all. So this is a different nature of the beast. And if you really, really look close and want to critique my stuff, I'll just tell you right there, I have a couple little points, but you know what? I call it good. And of course, then I added the cute little button, shank button, that I took off the shank. I just yanked it off. So this is the end result. Okay, so we have a pair. What I'm starting out with is this. Okay, it's been stitched, it's been sewn, the one seam. So I start out at the side of the seam within the 1/4 inch allowance that it has to fold over. You can eyeball this, or if you need to, see how that's working? Okay, that's going to go all the way around. If you need to, you're more than welcome to actually stitch before you sew up the back seam. Okay, That's what all the tops of your shoes that are full. I'm not talking about sandals that are open-toed. I'm not any closed-toed shoe boot you are doing. This is what it should look like. And I'm not cutting just slits in there. I did that at the very beginning, and you really need to release a lot of that to make it nice and smooth. Yes, this is tedious, but it's well worth it in the end. Cobbling stand. If you have dolls, then you slip this right onto their leg, okay? And I'm just gonna let it drop for now. Now, this is where your tape, double stick sided tape comes in. You're gonna take just a little bit of a piece, and I'm putting it right on top, okay? It's right here, just one little piece, okay? Now, here is my insole. This is the chipboard I cut, and I wrapped fabric around it. This is where you can have a choice. Do you want to wrap fabric around it, or do you want to cut out a 2mm foam and just glue that right on the top? Okay, it's your choice. But I love getting little bits of my fashion fabrics and making the inside of the soles pretty cool. So with that, and if you notice, different curves, okay, I'm going to place this right on top. And so if you have your doll foot, then you're gonna add a little bit of your double-sided sticky tape to the bottom of her foot. Don't forget that step, or it's gonna slide everywhere. And then you place the sole on top of her foot, or in this case, my cobbler stand. So bear with me, because I wanna make sure that it's even all around, and how I check is I tip it upside down, and I make sure that I'm kind of centered, and I flip it back over. Gotta get that centered for you. Flip that back over, and I push down. Okay, it's down there. Now here comes the fun part. I start with the heel first, so I need to flip that around because I always have it facing me. I'm lining my back seam with the center back of the heel, and I'm holding it there, like just a little bit there, and I'm going to press it over. And the beauty of the hot glue is it dries really fast. So have I lost some fingerprints in the process? Yes. So I did the very first back seam. Now these two little flaps, I'm going to get those as well. Here it is, the first three. Okay, now I'm going to flip it away from me again so I can do the toe. Okay, so now again, centered a little bit, and I have like the 1/4 inch up. Okay, just like that. And now again, I am not joking when I say I do one little piece at a time. Is it tedious? Yes. Is it going to get you your results? Yes. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay, now I moved it to my side so I can get this side done towards me, and then I'll flip it around and do the other side. Okay, that one got a little hot. I didn't wait. You can wait a couple seconds. Glue tip here. You wait a couple seconds before you really did. Okay, so sometimes when I know I can get a couple of them done at once on the side, then I will do that. But if, okay. And I'll get a couple on the side all at once, and I just fold it over. Fingernails, if you don't have any, then just go at it from the bottom, and then you mush. If you notice, that's what I'm doing. I'm mushing. I'm just smoothing as I go. And last one. Okay. That is how it's supposed to look. Now when you have vinyl and you cut it out like that, it breaks it up so it's not so bulky. And this is actually pretty flat, you guys. Okay, and even with fabrics, if you have a good amount of bulk in your fabrics, do it this way. When I did the inner soles, all I did was I just took little snips in. I didn't have to cut out the whole triangles just because it was one layer of cotton and it's just gonna mold and stretch. So I let that just cool. I might mush it with my hand. Now the other trick too is for your doll foot or your cobbling stand, I'll put it to the side here. I want you to take it and see how I'm encompassing it all. And I'm doing this backwards here because I want you to see it. You take it from the back and you lift it off. Don't try to pull it like this because I want to make sure that it's not going to rip out. So I just do this and I jimmy it and I slide it off. And your sticky tape is there, and all you do, and I highly recommend this, you take it off every single time. You take it off your doll feet and you take it off your cobbler stand and you start with a fresh piece of tape every single time. You guys, tape is not that expensive, okay? Not too shabby. You didn't see a whole lot of strings flying out, right? Okay, good. So now what's the next step? Well, the next step is I got my sole, your hot glue gun, and the bottom of your sole, and I'm going to glue all in the middle, a good amount, all in the middle, not necessarily on the sides. You guys, when you press it, it's going to ooze out the sides a little bit anyways, okay? I'm just piling it on in the middle. I'm going to lay it right on top. There you have the kitty nap flat in patent pink vinyl with her soles on. Super easy, guys. And then we have our trim. I went with a coarse black glitter foam, which I love. I always start from the center back and then I go around and I meet in the back. That's my personal preference. I know other designers do different ways, but that's what I always do. So the trick to this is using hot glue is this. I actually will put a line in the middle of glue on here and then I'll place it around my shoe. So, and I do it in sections. I'll do a little bit of section here. I'm doing just a center glue, light touch on the trigger, okay, just like that. Then I pick up my shoe and I start from the back center and I'll lay it right there. If any glue comes out the bottom or the top of the sides, then just do what we did when we put the bottom on. You just wipe it away as quick as you can. Bit around. I do give it a little bit of a stretch and tautness. So toe all the way around. Okay. Whoop. Now, when I come up here, we have just a little bit left to do, and then we have the center back again. We have to meet that, and I like to kind of make it a little flush. So, all right, so now I snipped it. I wanted to make sure that I could get right at the edge before I finished off with the glue. So, last little bit, I glue not the shoe itself, but the little trim, and I roll it around to the back and I hold it. Okay? And now you have a shoe complete. If you didn't want to add the little bow that I'm adding. Okay? So we're going to add the bow, And actually with this, I choose a different one. This is like Gorilla Super Glue Gel. And there you have it. Adorable kitty nap flats in the hoop design by Appletotes Company with my little pink patent leather vinyl and the cute little bow. Adorable. It really wasn't that hard. So I challenge you to keep at it, and if this is something that you really, really love to do, keep doing it, because you are going to get better and better with every shoe you do. If you can get the soles done right, then any shoe, the tops of them, whether it's just an easy peasy one seam back seam, or if it's a boot that you have more pieces to attach, you'll be able to do it. So there you go. Thanks for joining me, and let's have fun doll cobbling. Bye-bye.